everyone, and welcome to WFSU's Owl-O-Ween Virtual Spooktacular.
Hi, everybody. We're so happy to be here with you today for our annual Owl-O-Ween celebration. We wish we could be with you in person, but we're bringing this very special program to you virtually. And we are your hosts.
I am Miss Tasha, your neighborhood-friendly witch today.
I'm Haley. You can't quite see my ears, but if I put my hands up, maybe you can see them. And I'm dressed up as Arthur today. And we both work at WFSU Public Media in our education department. Here is a picture of us with our friends way earlier this year, our friends Luna and Clifford. So you might be asking yourself, what is Owl-O-Ween? And we can show you a little bit about that.
We've been doing Owl-O-Ween for a few years now. We had one in our studio. Some of you may remember that. And we had special guest spiders, and we had a costume party and contest and lots of activities. And then last year, Haley, you want to share about last year's?
Yeah, last year we were at the Fred George Greenway Museum, and we had maybe about 300 people join us for that in person when we could still be in person. And we had a lot of fun with our partners. We watched some Halloween videos from PBS Kids. So since we can't be together with you today, we're going to try and recreate that for you virtually here with us with lots of special guests. We've got the Southern Shakespeare Company. We'll have a bit from St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge, the Grove Museum, the Challenger Learning Center, LeRoy Collins Leon County Public Library. And of course, we're going to have little in-between videos as well from WFSU and PBS Kids. We're really excited to get started with you today, so let's go. We want to make sure that we can see what you're doing since we can't see you in person. So we would love for you to share any creations that you make that are Halloween inspired, maybe some of the activities that we're going to be doing today. And you can share those on social media and be sure to tag us. We're at WFSU Education. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
We'd love to see those costumes.
Yes, we'd love for you to share your PBS Kids inspired Halloween costumes. Here are a couple friends from past years who are dressed up as Odd Squad agents and Daniel Tiger. So if you are doing anything Halloween inspired this year that maybe you have a costume for, we want to see it. So again, find us on Facebook or Instagram and you can tag us in your videos or your pictures.
We'd even love to see your pumpkins and any kind of other fun activities that you're doing. Maybe some fun recipes too.
Ooh, yeah, we'd love to see that. So we're going to get you kicked off with a little video from PBS Kids about the holidays. And this one, of course, is about Halloween.
Ghouls and goblins everywhere know that October 31st is Halloween. But did you know that Halloween traditions go back thousands of years? The Celtic people of ancient Europe celebrated October 31st as the last day before winter. To get ready for the cold, they harvested crops and had a party. They also thought it was the time when the spirit world and the regular world were closest together, so spirits could drop in and say hi. People dressed like animals to scare off bad spirits. Over the years, that party turned into Halloween. It's still a big celebration with crazy costumes and scary decorations, but a lot of the fun takes place at night, which can be dangerous. So about 80 years ago, Americans invented a way to keep children busy and out of trouble: trick-or-treating. Now that's a sweet way to solve a problem, and that's Halloween.
So that was just a really quick clip to give us a little bit of history about Halloween. I'd really love to see some of those old costumes where people dressed up as animals to scare off spirits. What about you, Tasha?
Absolutely. That would be so much fun. Maybe next year, Haley, go as our favorite nighttime animals or something like that.
Ooh, that would be a lot of fun. All right.
So please welcome our very first special guest, the Southern Shakespeare Company. For many years, the Southern Shakespeare Company has done all sorts of performances for Tallahassee and in other spaces too. In fact, WFSU has partnered and done some really interesting special projects. One's around Midsummer's Night's Dream, and another one about apprentices. I think you can find all of those videos at our WFSU YouTube site. But without further ado, take it away, Southern Shakespeare Company.
Hello there, I'm William Shakespeare. Happy Halloween. And I'm here today to tell you about, well, my new masterpiece. No, it's not a play, it's not even a poem, well, I've written a new book about how to count to 10. And I want to share it with you because counting is very important. In my poems, they're in beats of 10. So you have to learn how to count from 1 through to 10. So, without further ado, I'm going to read you a book that I've started writing. In this book, I've borrowed the characters from a play I wrote. They're the 3 witches. I call them the Weird Sisters. And in the story I'm about to tell you, they're putting things into a pot to make a magical brew. Would you help me count all the strange ingredients that they put into their pot? Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Brewing potions is what witches do. Into the cauldron the 3 witches threw 1 toad they found under a rock, and 2 drops of venom from a snake who could talk. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Brewing potion is what witches do. Into the cauldron the 3 witches threw 3 eyes of a lizard. Plop, plop, plop. Then 4 bat wings into the pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Brewing potions is what witches do. Into the cauldron the 3 witches threw 5 scales from a dragon breathing fire. 6 wolves' teeth pulled out with pliers. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. 7 feathers from a little owlet. Then 8 drops of dew. But we're not done yet. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Brewing potions is what witches do. Into the cauldron the 3 witches threw They add 9 worms they dug from the ground and finish it off with 10 toes that they just found. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Brewing potions is what they do. Who wants to try some? How about you? Happy Halloween. God bless. Enjoy your counting. I hope to see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.
Wow, that was really fun to watch, Tasha. Thank you, Southern Shakespeare Company.
Thank you.
And next we have a quick little clip from our friends at Peg Plus Cat, all about Halloween.
You're looking great.
Hello, trick-or-treaters, I got something to say. I've been scared a lot tonight. Oh, that's okay. I was scared by a clanking, I was scared by a roar. Those things won't startle me anymore.
You tell it, mailbox.
But one thing tonight still scares me.
What?
That treats might be given unfairly.
I hope not.
If we divide our treats up equally, 'twill be the
Greatest ever Halloween night.
Trick or treat.
Trick or treating is so preteen.
We're so over Halloween. No tiger suit scares us.
Or metal space drone.
Or mailbox. Or hydrant.
Or
ghost. Just for a moment. If we divide our treats up equally, 'twill be the
Greatest ever Halloween night.
Now there are
1,
2, 4, 5 trick-or-treaters. So divide the treats 5 ways.
'Cause we're all treat eaters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
If we divide 15 by 5, it's 3. That's 3. For the monster whose cans fit tight. 3. For the ghost who's spooky and white.
3,
For the tiger roaring worse than his bite.
3,
For the hydrant helping firefighters fight.
3 for the mailbox who delivers just right
On the greatest ever Halloween
night.
Watch Peg Plus Cat weekdays on your PBS Kids station or anytime on the PBS Kids video app.
What a great way to end that video with that little "Oh." I'm wondering if any of you out there can make your best Halloween howl. Like to hear it. Oh, 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 oh.
I like that it was a bird howling.
Haley, did you know that there is going to be an amazing full moon tonight on Halloween?
Oh my goodness, that's right. Isn't it a really special full moon too?
I think it is. I think it's the second full moon that is happening in the month of October, and we call that a blue moon.
Oh, that's where that saying comes from.
Yeah.
Something
pretty
happening
exciting.
once in a moon.
I know, it's going to be so much fun. I hope some of you can go out there with a flashlight tonight or just in the moonlight and make some moon shadows.
Ooh, yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I'll have to make sure I look out the windows tonight to check out the blue moon. Next, we have an activity for you to do at home. You can either try it along with me, but it might be a little too fast, or you can do it after you watch. So this is an activity called a spider web painting, and these are the materials that you'll need to do it. You'll need some thick paper, a soft paintbrush, watercolor paint, or you could also use food coloring, a white crayon, water in a cup, and some salt. And here is a quick little video to show you the process. And then afterwards, I'll tell you the steps again one more time, just so you make sure you are ready to do it on your own. So here I've got all of my materials. I've got my thick paper, I've got a white crayon, my big, soft, and fluffy brush. I'm a working artist, so I've got a fancy watercolor palette, but you can use any kind of watercolors you have. Also some water in a cup, and my little hippo salt shaker. It's got some salt in there. So your first step is you're going to draw out a spider web. So there's all these different lines that you could start from the middle, like I am, or you could start from the corner. And you need to make sure that you're pressing really, really hard so that the crayon really rubs off on that paper. It might be a little hard to see because, of course, you're using white crayon on a white paper. But if you're using a good source of light, you might be able to see the shininess of the crayon on your paper. So I'm pressing really hard, making sure I'm getting all those lines on there. Maybe I should have done a smaller sheet of paper so we could have
No,
gone
I
through
think
this.
it's amazing that you can see what you're drawing there because it looks invisible from where I'm
Almost
seeing.
invisible. Yeah, but you can kind of just barely see it. So when you're ready, you're going to wet your brush and pick whatever color you like. I started with green and I'm swirling that in the paint, and then I'm going to paint right over my spider web, and look what happens.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So it's like a little magic trick where you couldn't quite see the spider web before, but now it appears once I add color to my paper. So now I'm doing a little bit of blue. Again, you can use whatever colors you want. And I'm using a lot of water to make sure I can spread that paint around. And I can kind of mix it together too. So I mix the green and the blue a little bit. Those two colors go together pretty well. And then I think I switched to another color. So then I jump to some red. And again, you want to make sure that you use enough water to really help spread it around. And also you're going to need to make sure your paper stays a little bit wet for the salt, which I'll show you in just a moment. So I get a little bit more red paint. You can use all one color, or you could use maybe just certain kinds of colors. So maybe just warm colors or cool colors. So I've got a mixture of both. I used warm colors, red and orange. And I also used cool colors, blue and green. So then I filled in all of the spots so you can see the spider web. And now I'm just taking my salt shaker and I'm sprinkling it over the still wet paper. So you don't want your paper to be too sopping wet, but you also don't want it to be too dry. So you still need to see that it's a little shiny on top. So I sprinkled out my salt, and there we go. We've got to let it wait to dry. And I've got a picture of what that looks like next. So for your spiderweb craft, again, to go over the steps, your first step is you're going to use your white crayon to draw a spiderweb on your paper. So you can start from the corner, or you can start from the middle, like in the video. Show all of those spiderweb lines. And of course, you want to make sure you press really hard with that white crayon. It might be a little tricky because it's white crayon on white paper, but as long as you press hard, it should work. Step 2, you're going to swish your brush in the water and pick a color to use with your brush. And then you'll gently swirl your brush in that color to get the paint on your brush. Step 3, you're going to paint over the spider web on your paper and watch what happens. It's very magical. Step 4. Yeah, step 4. Whoa, that spider. Whoa. Step 4, when you're done painting and your paper is still a little wet with paint, you're going to sprinkle some salt on top for an extra special magic trick. And here you can see the end result of my spider web painting. So the salt soaks up the water, but it leaves a little ring. It looks like little magic crystals all around. And then when it's completely dry, you just brush the salt off into the trash can. So you can see all the fun little details in there, and you can create a really exciting spider web painting. So remember, friends,
that is beautiful, Haley.
Thank you. I'm glad I could share that with everybody. And we really want to make sure we see your creations. So please make sure to share with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram or on Facebook at WFSU Education.
It kind of reminds me of, in the morning when there's a spider web maybe outside your window and it has the dew on it and you can see in the light of the day. That's sort of what that reminds me of. It's so pretty.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of got that like dewy effect. A spider web. Thanks, Tasha.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I hope we get some kiddos doing this and sharing it.
Yeah, we would love to see whatever creations you come up with. Also, we want to make sure that we see your PBS Kids inspired Halloween costumes. So if you've got a favorite PBS character, if you can't tell, mine is Arthur. I'll show you my ears. Mine is Arthur, so I'm dressed up like Arthur. So tag us in your Instagram or Facebook photos at WFSU Education. We want to see what you've got.
Yes, please. And now we are ready for our next special guest. The Grove Museum. We love to work with the Grove Museum. They do all kinds of amazing things. They've got story time. They've got tours. They've got not only tours inside the house, but also special nature walks around the grounds. I'm trying to think, what else did I miss, Haley?
If you check out their Facebook page, they've got lots of things that they've been doing over the time while we've been quarantining, because I don't believe the museum is currently open for public right now, but you can follow along on some of their special virtual videos that they've been doing. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Grove Museum.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Grove Museum. My name is Miles, I'm a museum educator here. And before we get started, I just want to send a sincere thank you to WFSU for incorporating us into their Owl-O-Ween event. And today we will be making Seminole squash pancakes. So the Seminole squash is indigenous to Florida, and it was cultivated by the people of the Seminole tribe in the Everglades, and it was used for cooking purposes and food purposes, like we'll be doing so today. So this is the Seminole squash right here. This is a very young Seminole squash that kind of fell off the vine early, and this is a very mature Seminole squash right here. You probably wouldn't want to use these two for cooking, but these two right here are probably pretty good to use for cooking. So, the reason why we're using Seminole squash in our pancakes today is just to add a little fall element to a breakfast routine that everyone really likes, making pancakes in the morning. We're also adding some spices that will be very nice as well. So, I'm going to take you through our ingredients really quick. So, of course, we have the Seminole squash right here. Then I have some oat milk that has some maple syrup in it. If you can't find oat milk with maple syrup in it already, you can go ahead and mix your own oat milk and maple syrup together. I have a little bit of canola oil for the pan that we're heating right now. And also, we're going to put a little bit in our pancakes. And then I have pancake batter, or like the dry mix that I found. You can use any brand that you'd like. This is what I have, and I added a little pumpkin pie spice recipe to really bring out that fall flavor in it as well. You can also add walnuts or any nuts if you like to your pancakes as well. But now we're going to go ahead and get started, and I will show you how to make our Seminole squash pancakes. So basically, what I'm going to do is I have my dry ingredients right here. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of canola oil in there, and I'm really going to eyeball it. You don't want to put too much, but I don't think I'll over pour it. So there we go. Just a little bit right there. That's a good amount right there. Then I'm going to add the Seminole squash. I have a cup of pureed Seminole squash that we have. We cultivated, we pureed it, and then we froze it. I let it out to defrost, and it's ready to go for it to be used in this recipe. So we're just gonna do like that. Just scoop it all in there. And as you see, it's that bright orange. And once we cook it, it'll remain orange, but it'll also turn a little brown, which is really nice color for the pancakes. Then I have the oat beverage. I'm gonna give it a little shake just so it's evenly distributed. And then we're gonna add a cup of this as well. There we go. And now we're going to mix all of our ingredients together. And as you see, it all gets incorporated a little nicely. And it's looking a little thin, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that pancake flour to it. Let me go grab that. So we've got a little bit more batter now. I'm just going to put about half a cup extra in. And it's okay if a little bit spills over. Pancake batter is very forgiving. Just put that in. Mix it up, make sure it's well incorporated. Yeah, that's looking better. So as you see, we've got this really nice color for our batter. It smells really good already, and we haven't even started cooking it. Alrighty, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take scoops of our Seminole squash pancake batter. We're gonna add it to this already heated skillet, and we're going to cook it. And if you have like a pitcher or something, you could always do that. We'll just make a mini pancake on the side. It's gonna cook. And the best way to tell when your pancakes are ready is they're gonna start creating bubbles on the other side of the uncooked side, and that's when it's good to flip. So we'll show you that in just a second. So now we're back. Our pancakes have been on the griddle for a couple minutes. It smells amazing in here. They've got this beautiful color, and we haven't even flipped it yet. But now I'm gonna go ahead and do that flip for you all. So here we go. And then you just flip, just like that. Wow, look at that. Amazing, beautiful. And then we're gonna do the same to this little guy right here. So we've got another one. We're gonna cook it some more. And then once it's ready, we're just gonna transfer it to our plate. And as you can see, this is a big, hearty pancake. Very filling off of even just like one or two of these guys. That's really all you need. And you can eat it however you'd like. In its current form, it is 100% vegan. But if you want it with like butter or butter substitute, you could do that as well. It already has that maple syrup from when we added it to from the oat milk. However, you can add more if you'd like. And yeah, we really hope that you enjoy this recipe, and thank you so much again.
Wow, that was a great video. Thank you very much for the Grove Museum for sharing that with us.
Definitely. And when they open again, be sure to visit. And before then, you can go visit them on their website and keep an eye out for those special virtual events that they're hosting.
Yeah, they do a lot of really fun things. So now we have a quick little video, again, all about the holidays, but this isn't about Halloween. This is about a different holiday called Dia de los Muertos that also happens over the same weekend as Halloween. But it's a very special holiday for Mexicans and Mexican Americans and people who celebrate Dia de los Muertos.
October 31st marks the beginning of Dia de los Muertos. People dressing as skeletons, spirits parading through the streets in many cities and towns, children eating candy treats. No, it's not Halloween, it's Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. Celebrated mainly in Mexico and the U.S., it's a 3-day event that coincides with the Roman Catholic holidays All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day on November 1st and 2nd, a celebration to remember loved ones who have passed away, honor ancestors, and also to celebrate life. The Day of the Dead began over 3,000 years ago as a month-long ritual to give thanks for the harvest. Native people of Mexico, called the Aztecs, publicly displayed human skulls to honor the dead. When the Spaniards took control of Mexico about 500 years ago, they tried to outlaw the holiday. But the celebration refused to disappear, and eventually the ancient traditions became blended together with Spanish holidays. Today, Dia de los Muertos is 3 days long. To celebrate, many people put flowers on the graves of their loved ones and create altars with photos, food, and special objects. On the second day, families and friends get together to dance, sing, and feast. And on the final day, some of them parade in the streets dressed as skeletons. The traditions provide a lot of comfort to people who have lost friends or family. For many people, it is one way to remember and celebrate the cycle of life. How would you honor the memory of someone who has passed away?
I'm so glad that we shared that. What an amazing special 3 days that celebration shares with the world.
Yeah, it's really, from what I've been told, a happy holiday. It's one that's celebrating and thinking of memories of special people.
Right. And we all have people in our lives that are no longer right here with us. And what a great time to just thank them and know that you're thinking about them.
Yeah. And next, we have another special guest.
Woohoo! Get ready for St. Mark's Wildlife Refuge. Hoo hoo!
Hello, welcome to Pumpkins and Pollinators. Today we're going to talk about the importance of pollinators on wildflower and food crops. I'm Robin Will, Supervisory Refuge Ranger with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service at St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. So what are pollinators? We know that wind is a pollinator. In the spring, the wind moves pollen out of the blooming trees onto our houses and cars. But did you also know that animals can be pollinators? Animals move pollen from one part of a tree or a plant to another part that allows the tree or plant to be fertilized, producing fruits, producing seeds, nuts, and young plants. So today we're going to talk about the types of animals that are most likely to pollinate our food plants. That would include bats, birds, bees, bumblebees, butterflies, and moths. Let's talk about those in just a minute. Here in the United States, hummingbirds are important pollinators of flowers. They're especially attracted to the color red. They have very good eyesight, but terrible sense of smell. And they're adapted to pollinate because when they feed, they have a long beak and tongue that can remove pollen from tubular flowers such as this firebush. I bet you didn't know that over 300 types of fruit are pollinated by bats. This is mostly in tropical and desert climates. Bats are very important pollinators for guava, mangoes, papaya, agave plant, and the saguaro cactus. When they fly at night, they're especially attracted to white flowers, very large white flowers that have a strong fragrance that makes them easy for them to find. And don't forget bananas, another bat-pollinated fruit that we all love. Bats also eat millions of insects when they fly at night. Okay, there are over 4,000 species of bees in the United States. We're mostly familiar with the honeybee and the large furry bumblebee. Bees need lots of nectar and pollen for survival. They are responsible for pollinating 100% of almond crops, 90% of apple crops, 90% of onion crops, and also pumpkins, oranges, lemons, limes, and the cocoa tree. Their other relative, the bumblebee, is larger and furrier and helps to pollinate squash, pumpkins, peppers, tomatoes, carrots, and strawberries. They do a funny little dance called buzz pollination, where they shake their body while they're feeding and pollen falls onto their bodies, which makes them a very effective pollinator. Yeah. Okay. There are over 750 different types of butterflies in the United States. Although they do not move as much pollen as bees, butterflies are important, especially to wildflower populations. They are the primary pollinators for many vegetables, the carrot family, sunflower, bean, mint, and pea family, and herbs such as cilantro, dill, celery, and basil. Butterflies love large, bright-colored flowers that are easy to see in the daytime. So remember this when you're planting your pollinator garden. Moths, there are more than 11,000 species of moths in our country. Most of them come out at night like bats. Most of them are attracted to the large, white, fragrant flowers like bats. And they're especially important pollinators for morning glory, tobacco, yucca plant, and gardenias. So, why should we care about pollinators? Worldwide, roughly 1,000 plants are grown for food, beverages, fibers, spices, and medicines, and they need to be pollinated. These include things we've already shared: honey, apples, chocolate, coffee, melons, peaches, pumpkins, potatoes, vanilla, and almonds. And pollinators are in trouble. We know that bee populations are declining. Birds and bats are also suffering from diseases, from increased use of pesticides, from changing land development programs. Even agriculture has started spraying with herbicides all the wildflowers at the edge of their fields. We know that climate change is impacting how long plants bloom and when they first start to bloom. How can we help pollinators? We know pollinators are important, so important that the entire world is working together to save them. What can we do here in our local area to help pollinators? First of all, plant flowers for pollinators. Even if you live in an apartment, have a planter or a small pot and put some flowers out there to attract pollinators. If you can work with your local road departments, ask them not to mow the wildflowers during the peak bloom season. See if they can delay their mowing until after that happens. Reduce your use of insecticides and pesticides and try not to spray around flowering plants. If you have a large grassy area, maybe consider adding more flower beds to your yard. Encourage your schools, churches, neighborhoods, and other organizations to plant more flower beds for pollinators. Together, we can all help to work on saving pollinators and create more pumpkins. Thank you so much.
Thank you, St. Mark's Wildlife Refuge.
Thank you. That was a really interesting video. And now we have another...
Quickie thing about St. Mark's too, that they are open for drive-through visits and you can have a look at the lighthouse. So if you get a chance and you want to go someplace a little different, you can visit St. Mark's.
St. Mark's is one of my favorite places to visit. There's so many different types of wildlife that you can see. And it's really important to understand about refuges and why they're so important.
St. Mark's has a lot of butterflies too. During certain times of the year, it's exciting.
Yeah. My fiance is a big bird watcher, so he definitely goes out with his binoculars and he tries to chart all the different types of birds that he sees out there. He often goes sometimes up to 3 times a week.
It's a great hobby.
Yeah, you can learn a lot. Speaking of learning a lot, we've got a fun little video here from Dinosaur Train.
You're looking great.
Well, I see with my super Troodon night vision that everyone has arrived. That means it's time for our spooky scavenger hunt.
Spooky scavenger hunt?
It's a game where you pretend to be nocturnal and see what it would be like to use your senses at night.
You mean like our sense of smell?
Yes, and our hearing and our vision too. Now that we're out here in the dark, I can show you that eye shine I was talking about.
Whoa, look! His eyes are shining.
All right, passengers, it's your turn to try to use your night senses to find things in the dark. First up, what can you find with your sense of smell?
Ooh, Buddy, remember the flowers that grow here at the big pond? Yeah, I bet you can help us find them. Okay, everyone, follow my nose. I just smell leaves and dirt.
My nose is kind of stuffed up tonight. Buddy, how about you?
I smell flowers. This way. Ta-da! You found him! Hooray!
Nice job, Team Pteranodon. Oh, and you too, Ned.
Thanks. Let's tell the conductor.
Watch Dinosaur Train weekdays on your PBS Kids station or anytime on the PBS Kids video app.
So, Haley, have you ever seen eye shine when you're out in the dark?
I have. I've got a cat, and sometimes if I walk out in the dark, I see her little shining eyes over in the corner.
I know, it's kind of exciting and looks a little spooky, and then you realize, wait a minute, that's my pet that has those shining eyes. Another really neat thing that I learned about not too long ago is if you hold a flashlight about shoulder length and you look out at some grass, you might see teeny tiny sets of eyes, and those are all little tiny spiders that build webs in your grass. And you can see all of them when you hold the flashlight just right. It's so exciting.
I didn't know that. So I feel like I'll be looking very closely at the grass when I go out in the future. But that tells us a little bit about nocturnal animals, which are animals that come out at nighttime.
Yes.
So friends, and that quick little video did talk a little bit about using your senses. So even if it's dark outside, sometimes you can use your senses to help find your way around. So if you can't see very well, you might be able to smell like they found flowers, or you might be able to listen for some noises to figure out where you're going.
Sure, like the crunchy leaves under your feet and maybe a stick. If you step on it, it's going to make all kinds of noises.
Yeah. So if you go out tonight to check out that full moon, maybe you could test out some of your senses, although it might be kind of bright with a bright blue moon.
It's time for our next special guest. Please welcome the Challenger Learning Center.
Hi, my name is Lane Mikesell. I am the Programs Coordinator at the Challenger Learning Center of Tallahassee, and today I am going to do a little demonstration called Boo Bubbles. Boo Bubbles involves what we call dry ice, which is actually just solid CO2 or carbon dioxide. It's also what we call a cryogen, and those are some extremely cold things. What's crazy about dry ice or solid CO2 is that it's negative 78 degrees Celsius or a negative 109 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's super, super, super cold. So you can tell I'm not going to touch it directly. I have some special tongs to grab it to put it in here. So something that you probably learned in school is the 3 states of matter. That is liquid, solid, and gas. What's crazy about this is that it goes straight from a solid to a gas, and we call that sublimation. So it skips that liquid phase where we usually see solid things melt. So I put it in here. You can see it start to bubble up. And if you listen really closely, you can hear it start to bubble. Right. So put it in here. You can see that gas Thank you for joining us today for Owl-O-Ween. You can visit our website at challengertlh.com. We have all kinds of fun virtual lessons that you can do at home, and we are open for limited programming. Happy Halloween!
Ooh, that was really fun to watch. Thank you to the Challenger Learning Center.
The Challenger does the best projects. It's so much fun. And they're not open right now, but I think they're doing some special virtual events too. And check out they're online.
Yes, check out the Challenger's website where you can find more information about camps and classes and programs that they have available virtually. Next, we're going to watch a little clip from an Odd Squad Halloween episode. You know, there's a lot of Odd Squad fans out there, and we'd love to see if there are any Odd Squad costumes running around.
In fact, Frangella heard it was Odd Squad, and she came right over to see what we were going to watch right now.
Sometimes we do have our cat friends that join us for our virtual calls.
Yes.
Safe house in the woods.
So, Oslin, how are you liking the security department so far? We get to transport a real live creature. Pretty cool, huh?
Security's fun, I guess.
I remember when I was a new recruit like you, trying out each department to see what's the best fit.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Now I know for sure I want to be an agent.
Well, you know they might not have any openings.
Then I'll go scientist. Do you know Una has these robots that look like her called Unabots?
I know about the robots. There's no future in those departments. You gotta join security. I mean, where else do you get to secure the perimeter?
I don't know what that means.
What was that? I'll check with the driver. Talk to me, Orson. What do we do about the van? Okay. Great news. The van got stuck in the mud, so we're gonna be delayed 6 hours.
How is that great news?
Because it gives me more time to convince you to join the security department. In the meantime, we gotta move this creature.
Move it where?
There's an odd squad house up the road we can stay in while Orson digs out the van. This house is so cool. You're gonna love it. Come on. Just a little further. Let's set it down over there. Whew. Let me get the lights. Pretty sweet, huh?
It smells like rotten eggs. Why is the creature doing that?
I'll call Ocean. He's the creature guy. I'm sure it's no big deal.
Dude, it's a big deal.
You were supposed to be back at headquarters by now so I could feed it. Our van is stuck in the mud.
You have to feed that creature. There's creature slop in the van.
Can it wait till we get back?
Sure. If you wanted to break out.
Okie dokie. Get in, creature slop.
Thanks, Ocean. I hadn't even thought about joining the creature department.
Give me that. I've got the slop.
You have to feed it exactly 1 quart of slop.
No more, no less. Hurry.
Okay, got it. We need to find something to measure liquid. Quickly!
How about this?
No, that's a pan balance scale. It's used to measure weight.
There has to be something here. This?
No, that's a ruler. It's used to measure how long something is. This is what we need. This says 5 quarts. This says 3 quarts. This says 1 quart. One quart exactly. Here you go, little guy. Hurry!
Phew, close one.
Let's just take these raincoats off and settle in.
What's that noise?
There's something outside.
Quick! Stop it with one of your gadgets.
Security doesn't have any gadgets. Delivery, Doug?
Odd Squad, what are you doing here?
This is an Odd Squad house. What are you doing here?
This is the place I use to make my egg salad sandwiches.
Explains the rotten egg smell.
Not rotten, ripened.
Did Miss O say you could work here?
Well, she didn't say I couldn't. Technically, I never asked. But that's the end of that sentence.
Doug, you can't work here.
Just let me stay until the storm passes. You won't even notice I'm here. Eggs. All I really want is eggs. Put some mayo in my eggs.
I'm noticing he's here. What is it now?
What's going on with this thing?
So weird. Usually people fall asleep when I feed them my egg salad.
You fed an egg salad?
Free of charge, I might add.
I'm calling Ocean. What's happening inside the cage? Before the creature was red, now it's blue. With horns. You have to change it back to red. Okay, got it. Thanks, Ocean. Ocean said if we feed it 8 more quarts of creature slop, it'll go back to normal.
Easy. We can just fill up this 1 quart container 8 times.
Excuse me. That's mine. And that is only to be used in measuring the finest discount mayonnaise.
Doug, don't.
Hey, that's my container.
We needed to fix the problem you caused.
It belongs to me.
Come on, Doug.
Let go.
Let go of it.
This is why I can't have nice things.
What do we do now? We still have the 3 quart container and the 5 quart container.
For what? To catch our tears when the creature eats us?
No, look. 5 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8.
And if we fill both containers to the line, that will equal exactly 8 quarts.
I'll scoop some slop.
Whoa.
3 quarts. Okay, now I just have to fill the 5 quart container right to the line.
Perfect. Now let's feed it to the creature.
Doug, open the feeding hatch.
Aw, man.
Here, take this. Okay, let's do it together. Here you go, hungry little guy. Hurry, Doug! Close it! It went back to normal. Good job, team.
Oh,
Did it.
that was scary.
Who's there? Oh, wait, no, that's for me. Come in. I felt bad about how today was going, so...
You ordered pizza?
Oh, don't be jealous, Doug.
I'm not jealous.
Yes, you are.
My product is superior.
It is inferior.
Do people always fight this much in security?
Can I talk to you guys? I'm trying to convince Austin to join security, and all this fighting isn't helping.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, I have been taking some acting classes, and so maybe Doug and I could act out some little scenes that would make Aslan think that security is awesome.
Yes!
Oh, hello, Doug. I am glad that you are here. Something very odd has happened to my computer.
Whoa, looks like a villain took it over. Better call security.
Actually, the IT department takes care of computers.
Oh no, my Egginator is broken. It's going berserk.
What? Well, that sounds like a job for the very cool department of security.
That's the scientists. They do gadgets.
The lock on this door is broken. Security?
That's more of a maintenance thing.
Well, what does security do?
We secure the perimeter.
Nobody
We
knows
have no
what that
clue what
means.
that means.
See? I'm not the only one.
What is happening?
The creature's changing again. How? Nobody fed it anything.
Was I not supposed to feed it pizza?
You've really done it this time, Delivery Deborah.
I'm calling Ocean.
What What does the creature look like now?
Now the creature's green with pink stripes. It has horns and sharp-looking teeth. Whoa. That is the most dangerous version of the creature yet. How do we change it back to normal?
I just feel like I should feed it more egg salad.
No!
Okay.
You need to feed it exactly 2 quarts of slop. We have a 3-quart container and a 5-quart container.
And we need to make 2 quarts.
What if we use the containers to subtract?
What?
Let's just fill up the 5-quart container.
Look at the line.
That's good, that's good. So I have 5 quarts in here, and how much in the 3-quart container?
Well, nothing. It's empty.
But if I pour from the 5-quart container into the 3-quart container and fill it up to the top...
If you take away exactly 3 quarts from the 5 quarts, you have exactly 2 quarts left in the 5-quart container.
Now all that's left to do is feed it to the... Guys, the box is open.
Where'd the creature go?
You know, now that I see it in the light, it doesn't seem that scary.
Quick! Can't let it escape! What do we do? Owen, lock the front door. Duck and Debbie, block the entrance in. Move it now!
I'm going to circle the creature.
Oh boy, get down from there. We'll feed you if you get in the crate. There you go.
Owen, out that door, close that crate. Come on, get ready, Owen. Duck, Debbie, bring that slop quickly.
Please.
Get the slop.
We did it! It's asleep!
Do you know what you just did?
What?
You just secured the perimeter.
That was awesome! Thanks!
Hello? Got it. Orson got the van out. We can leave now.
Let's pack up. Hey, Owen, maybe you can tell me a little bit more about security on the drive.
My pleasure.
All I really want is eggs. Mix some mayo in my eggs.
Just let him stay.
Sure.
Put it on some bread. You heard what Delivery Doug said? Yeah.
Every time I watch On Squad, I learn something new.
I know, it's so much fun. And I can't help but to wonder, what did that pink slop actually taste like?
I don't know, it looked kind of like soap to me. So I kept thinking maybe it tasted really clean, but they kept calling it slop too. So
yeah, who knows? That was very interesting. And I wonder too, did it make anyone want an egg salad sandwich?
It kind of made me think about baking, because they had to measure so many things out. And just like in baking, you need to have exact measurements in order for your item to turn out right.
That's so true. I wonder if there's some recipes out there that you guys could try to make some kind of fancy Halloween punch.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
Oh.
Well, you can take what you learned in your On Squad video.
Exactly. And you can measure out quarts, cups, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, next.
Oh, another special guest coming right up. The LeRoy Collins Leon County Public Library.
Hi, my name is Sally Mason, and I'm a librarian here at the LeRoy Collins Leon County Public Library. I want to thank WFSU for asking us to be a part of their Halloween event. I'm going to read a story to you. It's called Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson, but I'm going to read a little shortened version with some fun characters on our board here, okay? And you can check this book out with your library card. The witch had a cat in a hat that was black, with long ginger hair and a braid down her back. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly that it blew off her hat. Can you guys pretend to be the wind? Down, she cried, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then there bounded a dog. Got a little dog with the hat in his jaws, and he dropped it politely and then eagerly said, "Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and whoosh, they were gone. The witch laughed out loud and then held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from the braid, just like that. Can you guys pretend to be the wind again? Down the witch cried, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. And then in flapped a green bird with the bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and then bent her head low. "I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?" "Yes," the witch cried, and whoosh, they were gone. The wind kept blowing. Good job. And she clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. "Down," cried the witch, and flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. And in leapt a green little frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely and then said with a croak, "I am a frog as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for someone like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in two. Oh no, we're gonna lose our broom. The animals all fell down into the bog. We lost our frog, and the cat, and the dog, and the bird. And the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. Uh-oh, who's that? "I am a dragon, as mean as can be, and a witch with French fries tastes delicious to me." "Help!" cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon moved closer, and out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. Ooh. It was tall, dark, and sticky. It had feathers and fur. It had a terrible voice. And when it started to speak, it was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a creak. "I'm sorry," said the dragon, "I made a mistake." And he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then jumped down the bird, and then jumped down the frog, then jumped down the cat, and along with the dog. "Thank you, oh thank you," the grateful witch cried. The witch fixed the broom, and they all jumped back on. Here's our broom. They all got back on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Isn't that a fun book? We love this book, Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson. And again, you can check this book out with your library card. Any resident of Leon County can register for a library card, and it's free. You just go to our website at www.leoncountylibrary.org and click on online registration. Once you fill out the form, we will mail you your card. You'll also get your card number right away so you can start checking out items. Again, I want to thank WFSU for inviting us to participate in their Halloween event this morning. We're having so much fun, and we hope to see you all soon.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much to the Leon County Public Library.
And the library is one place that is open. It's limited, but you can still go and check out books, and they actually have a lot of online programs, and I think a virtual story time almost every day of the week.
Yeah, so you have to check out their website and see what they've got going on. And of course, if you're ready for some books, you can go pick those up and get to reading.
We also have the service. There's a special with your library card. It's called Canopy, and you can rent movies and audiobooks too.
That is true. And that's a really fun addition to what you can get at the library.
It is. Looks like we have something super fun coming up, Haley.
Yes, next we have another craft activity that you can do. So here I'm showing you the finished product first this time, because I bet you're wondering, how did she make that and what is going on? Well, of course you can see there is some blue colors, kind of look splattered, and we've got a bat in the middle here. And I did this, and I'm calling it a bubbling potion drawing. So again, if you want to watch along and then try afterwards, or you can try and do it along with me, but it might be a little too fast. So I'm going to give you the materials. I'll show you how to do it, and then we'll go through the steps again after the video. So the materials that you need for your bubbling potion drawing is some white glue. So you could use something like Elmer's glue, but of course it should be liquid. It won't work with, it probably won't work with like a glue stick. So use some white glue. Again, you probably want some thick paper, some baking soda, food coloring, or you can use watercolors, and vinegar. Oh, and a paintbrush. And I'm going to show you how to do this activity. So, of course, again, you're going to need some thick paper, and I also have an extra sheet off to the side. You're going to need your baking soda. I've got a little jar that has some vinegar in it. I've got my tray of watercolors because I didn't have food coloring on hand. You can use either one. I've got 2 different paint brushes, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And then I've got a little tiny tube of glue. So what you're going to do is you're going to, and you can draw this out first with a pencil if you want. I just freehanded. With my glue, you're going to squeeze it out and draw your image with the glue. So you're going to pretend like your glue is paint or a pencil. So I'm drawing out my bat, and I had to shake it a little bit because sometimes the glue gets kind of stuck. And I'm adding a few little details. So I've got his little teeth, his little eyes, some lines for his wings. And I put some little feet on him. Of course, you can do whatever kind of drawing you want to do. I decided to do a bat just because I think bats are cool. So I did that in the with the glue. Now while the glue is still wet, you don't want to let it dry. You're going to take your baking soda and you're going to just dump it right on the glue so it'll stick. It'll cover all of it, and you kind of shake it around to get it nice and covered. And then you're going to shake off the excess, and I kind of tapped a little bit too to get it all off. So there you can see it's covered, and then I took my excess and I did it one more time just in case to make sure it's nice and covered. Oh, I had a little piece of paper that fell off there. So you're going to shake it around, make sure all of the glue is nice and coated with your baking soda. Tap it off again. There we go. So I've got my bat. He's covered with baking soda. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my watercolor brushes, and I'm going to get some paint on it. So I'm mixing that up, and then I'm just gently tapping that onto the baking soda. And you'll see as you do it, the baking soda actually kind of soaks up the paint. So your brush doesn't need to be super wet. And you don't really need to push it all. So you just tap it onto the baking soda and it'll go and it'll soak it right up. And it's okay if you get a little bit on the paper, or if you want to, you can just also paint the paper. But you don't want it to be too wet with water. So then I'm going to use my other brush. And this is where the fun part comes in. I'm going to swirl it into the vinegar. And then I'm just going to tap it right on to the baking soda and the paint color. And what happens is the baking soda and the vinegar react together, and you get a fun, fizzy reaction on your drawing. So it kind of bubbles up. There we go. And if you get a lot going, you can hear it too. So it's a lot of fun to do. Now you can leave it and just let it dry on its own, or as you saw in my picture, I'll back up here so we can see that. In my picture, I actually, whatever was left over, I just used the air in my mouth and I blew the paint to spread around. So it kind of has this little explosion effect to it. But again, if you want to, you can just leave it to dry once you're done. So again, just to go over the steps for you for when you're ready to do this activity on your own. To do the bubbling potion drawings, you're going to need to take your white glue and you're going to use it to draw on your paper. You can draw any design you like. So you could do a cauldron with bubbles kind of like in the top corner of your screen. Or you could do a bat, or you could do a pumpkin, you could do a witch, or you could do an entire scene. You just have to make sure that the glue stays wet so that it sticks to the baking soda. So you're going to sprinkle that baking soda on the glue drawing, and then you'll tap the excess off. You don't want to brush it off with your hand because then you'll smear everything away. So you'll have to take it and turn it, tap it, or shake it off. And then you're going to take your paintbrush, or if you've got food coloring in a little drop bottle, you can just drop it onto the baking soda and then watch what happens. What do you remember that happened in the video? The baking soda sucked up all of that color, and you didn't need a whole lot, but we'll let you experiment with that and see what happens. Then for your last step, you're going to dip your paintbrush into the vinegar and gently brush it over your glue drawing and watch what happens with that. And then if you have any leftover paint or droplets of water or vinegar, you can blow that. You could either use a straw or you could just use your mouth and blow it across the paper to give it kind of a fun little splatter effect to your artwork. So friends, if you do one of those activities, we would love to see your creations, and we'd love for you to share that with us on social media. You can tag us on Instagram or Facebook at WFSU Education. We'd love to see anything that you create, and that includes any pumpkins that you might carve, any other crafts or Halloween artwork that you might do. Maybe if you have a Dia de los Muertos altar, we'd love to see anything that you've got going on since we can't see you in person. And of course, we want to see your PBS Kids inspired Halloween costumes. So if we've got any Odd Squad friends out there, if we've got any other people dressed up like Arthur or any other characters from your favorite PBS Kids shows, we really want to see that. So please be sure to tag us on Instagram or Facebook at WFSU Education.
Exactly. We can't wait to see how you are celebrating your wonderful Halloween this year.
And that actually brings us right to the end of our fun Owl-O-Ween presentation and virtual Spooktacular with us today.
We are so happy that you took the time to join us, and you're going to try some of these activities. If you'd like to see some of this again, some of the videos, you can visit pbslearningmedia.org for other ideas. Parents watching out there, there's PBS Parents for recipes and other craft ideas as well. And of course, if you visit our WFSU website, we have other ideas there too.
And for any special PBS Kids Halloween shows that you might want to watch, make sure to tune into your local WFSU station or channel to watch any fun Halloween videos. Or you can also find them at PBS Kids on YouTube, where they have a special playlist of PBS Kids Halloween episodes.
Absolutely. There's templates for pumpkin carving and some really delicious recipes to try as well. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, friends. Thank you.